Have you all seen this disgusting reporting from The Age? I'll put the link in the description below. They said, we've come too far to fall to pieces now. And this is from the Age editorial team. This is not one opinion from one person. This is the whole masthead representing this opinion. Not only do they go on to blame, just as we've heard from governments, blame the people for going out around grand final day causing a spike in cases. There's a whole abuse dynamic going on there, which I won't cover. But the fact that at the end of the article, they say, was it worth it? The lockdown, the most locked down city in the world. They say, yes, it was. For the record, yes, it was, and worth it in spades. And they go on to quote the Monash epidemiology professor saying that had we not locked down in Victoria, then we would have been seeing 140,000 deaths and 30,000 of them alone here in Victoria. It's so irresponsible. Back before we do lockdowns, they roll out the modeling and say, look, if we don't lock down, this many thousands of millions of billions of trillions of cotillions of people will die and get sick, and hospitals will be this million billion % overrun. That's what they give us estimates. They scare us all to hell, and maybe they're right. Turns out they've been wrong, but let's just assume that they're right. Well, when we get to the reality, they're now saying in hindsight, even things that we didn't do, our modeling is suggesting that it would have been worse. They're saying now that had we not locked down, all these people would have died. This is the logical fallacy, fatalistic crap that they put out on mainstream media. Sorry for the lack of production value on this video today and the saying the word crap. But it is so irresponsible to scare people like this, because not only do the models not come true, barely half, now they're predicting that had we have not locked down, which we'll never know. You'll never know. This is an abuse tactic. You will never know what would have happened because we locked down hard, the most locked down city in the world. But they're now telling you it's all okay. The abuse is justified because had we have not done it, all these people estimated to have, would have died by our estimates, by our models. It's a logical fallacy, which is why we're doing this town hall on ethics in a couple of weeks, to talk about how to think rationally. Because to say this logical fallacy of this, you know who does this? Religious zealots and gambling addicts. They're the type of people who think like this. They say, well, if something went really, really well, lucky I flipped the coin 3 times, or lucky I prayed. Then if something goes really, really bad, well, lucky I flipped the coin 3 times, or lucky I prayed, because it would have been even worse. It's ridiculous. Ethics in this country is disastrous. Now, if you look at the most crazy, well, I think they're quite rational, but The Age constantly calls the United States libertarian conspiracies. This is how they refer to it. Even if we were as crazy and as libertarian conspiracist as the United States of America, which is just huge COVID everywhere, like everyone's dying in the streets, morgues, bodies piled up in mass graves, right? That's what we think, right? Well, on their population of 330 million, they've only had 701,000 deaths from COVID. Now, I'm not even going to get into the argument of from COVID, with COVID, or anything like that. Just Google basic stats, right? The worst stats possible. 701,000 deaths on 330 million people. And they've been crazy libertarian conspiracy, whatever, right? Okay. No lockdowns in a lot of their places. Okay. And a very ornery and uncompliant population. On Australia's population of 26 million, that would equal 54,000 deaths. And this modeling saying we're going to have 130,000 or 140,000, it's like more than double worst case scenario. And we're not even talking about Sweden. We're not even talking about countries that are lifting heavily now, their restrictions, Denmark and Norway, which would prove my argument even more. But worst case scenario, whereas stupid as the US, we would only have had 54,000 deaths, not 130, 140 like they're saying. Unbelievable. It's just scurrilous. It's so such a dereliction of their responsibility as journalists to investigate and to hold ideas to account. And here's me, an absolute untrained non-journalist. If any of you dare call me a journalist, you are wrong. I am not a journalist. I am biased to all hell, and here I am giving a pretty opinionated video. You'll see no journalist doing this, right? I'm not a journalist at all. And yet my thinking is way clearer than these clowns, these muppets that I went to law school with who we did journalism, law, double degree type stuff. We'd come together for various classes. So I've met a lot of these journalists in UTS, and they're out there pumping out stuff where they don't even think rationally. They don't even stop to say, hey, this could have been terrible, get vaccinated, it's going to be really bad, but the model's not quite right. Maybe we should investigate the model. No, they just present it as fact. They contradict themselves from one article to the next, from 1 month to the next, and they have no intellectual integrity. I'm telling you right now, we should not be looking to people who may have a degree in journalism but have no brains. It's fallen out on the pavement. They have no ability to apply intellectual integrity to their writing. No, I'm more interested in hearing from the hard left and the hard right and the center and the crazy and the up and down. I don't care who you are. If there's intellectual integrity in your argument, I want to hear it. And that is what we are not getting right now. So I encourage you all to apply some rational thinking, whether you're coming to our town halls on ethics or however, go onto Wikipedia and learn ethics. Like, learn how to think. Don't learn what to think. Don't listen to me. I keep telling you guys, don't listen to me. Don't trust me. No, figure it out for yourself. Go and learn how to think and trust yourself. All right, I'm going to go for a bike ride and get all this stress out.